I'm going to be talking about cars, and more specifically about car headlights and taillights, and what is it about them that we as buyers find attractive. I know when I ride behind a certain car, I think, that everything, the proportions, the shape, it just looks good. Same with the headlamps. I look at it and I think, yeah, that's a good design, somebody's got it right. Often I'll look at the headlamp, and then when I see the taillight, I'll be like, did two different people design this thing? Some of the cars look like, you know, a big thing in your rear view mirror, get out the way, and when they come past you, it's a piddly little backside with small little taillights. It's like a hyena with a great big, get out of my way. And when it comes past you, it's a small skinny little thing, and you think, oh, come on. And I want to know, when the people design cars, and more specifically like the headlamps and the taillights, what criteria do they use? And I want to mention something called the Fibonacci curve. Now, this is something that's found in nature, and it's a progression of numbers, and it repeats itself in all matters, in plants, in flowers, in fruit. And it's a sequence of numbers. It goes 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13, 21, 35, 34, and 55. In this Fibonacci sequence, there's something called the golden ratio. So if you divide the numbers in the Fibonacci sequence, you always land up with a 1.618 in a certain way if you divide them back. And this gives you certain criteria for which some sculptors have used to define physical perfection. When they make a statue, for instance, they use the Fibonacci sequence 1.618, divide the ratio between the toes to the navel to the head, etc., and they come up with a perfect shape. And also, it applies to how we perceive beauty in the human face. For instance, you take the height of the face and the width, and when you divide it, you get that perfect ratio. That's when it looks appealing to the eye. And part of this sort of golden ratio, there's a golden rectangle, and it's the length versus the width, and that must be in proportion. And it's also to do with this sequence, Fibonacci sequence. Even a credit card is designed along those, the width and the height, the golden rectangle, to make it look more appealing to us when we pick it up. Therefore, we want to use it and spend money. Go figure. So if they thought about that, I'm sure as car designers think about those things. I was looking at some of the Mazdas, and for instance, one of the cars, which is a smaller version, has got a bigger taillight. Well, bigger is better, but not always. Sometimes the sequence is not right. There are some cars where it works, this ratio, okay, and some cars where it doesn't. Even though the feeling is that you're getting more for your bigger bang for your buck, doesn't always work that way. I've always loved Jaguar. The old E-Type Jag was one of my favorites. The new Jags, they come in right, but when they brought out that little taillight of theirs, it's a little thin line with a little curve on the end, I was like, no, you haven't got the proportions, you know, especially in the sports car. I've kind of grown to like it, but something somewhere is just missing. It's not quite there. And I suppose it lends itself to thin slicing, which is from one of Malcolm Gladwell's books, where he talks about thin slicing, where you look at something, you just know, you don't know why necessarily, but it just doesn't work. Something doesn't quite fit in. So we're going to take a look at these different taillights, take a look at the different structure, some of the bits that get added onto cars, like some of the grids. To me, Audi was one of the first to bring out this big grille with all the pattern sort of thing, and you looked at it and you thought, wow, this is like a big shark, I want one of those. It just looked good. And a lot of cars now are tending to go from the smaller, narrower grille to this big, boss, look at me, buy me, get out the way, cars in front. You know, it's got that sort of feeling to it. The little things that they add, like little lights in the front, or an embellishment, or some little things. There's certain things that car designers add that just appeals to me, and it looks so much better than just plain and bland. Of course, I'm going to show you some pictures of the Audi, the R8, well, you know, some people say Audi, fine, Audi. That's just about got everything. When you look at it, the sport, you're like, yeah, I want. Of course, the price tag is ridiculous, but it doesn't stop you from wanting that car. It's just something about it. And some of the smaller cars, they are using that sort of kind of feeling. They adding the honeycombed grid. They adding the extra little lights, the tail lights. This is what separates, I'm going to say the men from the boys, but I don't really mean that. But, okay, so we're going to take a look at these. Let me know in the comments below whether you sort of agree with some of these things. And then later on, I'll discuss some other cars. I'll go and take some more photographs. And we can see if this sort of sequence lends itself, taken from nature, if it lends itself to car design as well. And do these particular cars get the proportions right? Have they succeeded in eliciting that visceral feeling that, I don't know quite how to say it, but it's the kind of yeah, I want. And if you like what I'm doing, like and subscribe, and you'll be kept up to date.